Hey guys, we have some shifting vibes happening this weekend as both Mercury and Pluto change signs. Mercury leaving Taurus, entering the sign of Gemini, his sign of rulership. This is going to really wake us up on a mental level, very mentally stimulating, very inquisitive, sort of opens us up to options and alternatives, different viewpoints, different perspectives, like a flux of information coming in. This is a very social energy. This is a very social period of time that we are moving towards right now. I'm speaking of my phone literally going off as I'm saying that. But with Pluto and Mercury actually moving on the same day, there could be some serious mental transformations that we are heading towards as we move into this summer. We've also got sort of the past and the future coming into context today, maybe coming up against each other, feeling ourselves like sort of at a crossroads over the course of this weekend. We have the nodes being activated by the moon and Venus simultaneously on Friday to start our weekend. So figuring out what it is that we really want and what we need to do, who we need to become, what we need to let go of in order to make that happen. This could sort of be a centralized theme coming through this weekend as well. So we've got lots of energy to talk about as this weekend is unfolding, you guys. Let's get into the report. Let's look at how things are coming through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what things might be looking like for us on the ground as a result of the energy we have this weekend. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Friday, June 9th, 2023. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day where we are narrating the shift of the ages. On this channel, we are looking at the energy as it's coming through on a day-to-day basis, but we are doing so in the context of this current shift of ages that we are in and how the daily activations and the way that the order that they are happening in are contributing to this overall conscious evolution that is leading us into the age of Aquarius. So we're looking at the microcosm in the context of the macrocosm. How is the daily affecting the overall transition and these very significant times that we are in as we are moving from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. Today and this weekend, we are looking at some very fated, destined activations that are happening in the context of this process. To start our weekend on Friday, we have double nodal activations going on. We have Venus right now, 4 degrees of the sign of Leo, in exact square to the nodes of the moon, Taurus and Scorpio, 4 degrees right now. And we will also have the moon transiting the sign of Pisces. Pisces is in a trine to Scorpio, where the south node is. Pisces is in a sextile to Taurus, where the north node is. So we have all the aspects going on. We got the full spectrum nodal aspects going on this weekend. We've got a trine from the moon, we've got a sextile from the moon, and then we've got a square to Venus, to both the north and the south nodes of the moon. So the north node, this is destiny. This is the next phase of growth along this procession of our soul's evolution and development. This is the next lesson plan, what we've got to learn and grow into at this point in time as this cosmic blueprint unfolds. And the south node, this is our karma. This is what we have learned. This is what we're very comfortable in. This is what we're very well versed with. These are the patterns that we've been immersed in and that we've learned how to like navigate and then we can be very attached to. But when we have these strong nodal activations going on right now, and we are also nearing the end of this transit of the nodes through Taurus and Scorpio, which is a nodal transit activation period of time, 1.5 year period of time that has a lot to do with a karmic detox. When we have the south node in the sign of Scorpio, this is our karma. This is what we've learned. This is what we're very good at. You know, a lot of times we really know how to be attached to our pain or be attached to our trauma or be attached to our shadows, okay? And this usually is because of a lack of an ability to see or to relate with or to connect to or to appreciate or to value our own relationship to ourselves or our own inner value, or, you know, to develop and cultivate and nurture a proper sense of self-love and stuff like that. So we have a tendency of surrendering our power, right, Scorpio, to things that are toxic to us or to things that are actually stealing our power or actually stealing our value or stealing our love or stealing our worth. And the whole lesson of the North Node in Taurus is to learn how to take that power back through cultivating value internally, through recognizing true authentic potential, okay? And what can be done with that, through seeing the beauty in ourselves and through as a result of that, coming to a place where we value our talents and our potential and our gifts and our abilities, and we want to cultivate those and we want to grow those in order to, you know, at this point in time, specifically in our transition of ages process, while we also have Uranus transiting the sign of Taurus, Jupiter transiting the sign of Taurus as well. This has a lot to do with awakening us to the truth of our destiny, actually, and helping us to get back on that path that is leading us in that direction as a result of a greater recognition of this potential, of this beauty, of this worth, of this value within us, therefore taking back power from the things from the past, the South Node, that hadn't been good for us, or that we had been surrendering parts or sacrificing parts of ourselves to in order to receive some type of sense of security or some type of external validation, or to feel like, you know, connected to or supported by something in some way, maybe even if it wasn't good or even if it wasn't healthy for us. So we are learning to grow naturally and organically instead of kind of like in somebody else's shadow when we have this nodal activation going on and we are wrapping up this transit. We are nearing the end of it. There could be honestly a lot of like deep past wounding that has gone on in relationship dynamics, or also having to do with like money, finances, value, worth, or in regards to like where our heart has been hurt in the past, the wounds that we've attained through love or through relationships. This is a period of time where insight, okay, some type of epiphany or shift in mental perception is trying to come through to open our eyes in some way to help us move past any states of previous victimhood where unhealed wounds or subconscious trauma were dictating sort of the outcomes of our reality and keeping us entrenched in these patterns of states of victimhood, or, you know, perpetual wounding, or just not being able to feel like we are just happy and in alignment with our own sense of like personal fulfillment and stuff in our lives. As we are transitioning ages right now into the age of Aquarius, you know, which is why we're looking at this on this like, you know, more minute day by day level like this, is because so many of the changes that are happening in our lives now are happening actually to get us out of any ruts that have been keeping us detached from like our destiny or from our purpose, and, you know, things happening specifically to awaken us to where we may have detached ourselves from those very things. And especially also as we are moving into this summer with Venus and Mars both transiting the sign of Leo, there is like a resurgence of inner child energy that is likely to be playing like a very significant role in just like what we want to be doing and what we find ourselves to be doing. And this Venus, North Node, South Node, Pluto Grand Cross that we've been dealing with this past week, that is now hitting exact to the nodes today, while we simultaneously have the moon coming through, I feel like is just setting us up for like this very type of thing. And, you know, as I said, there could be some themes of like, what is it that I really want at this point in time? Like, what makes me feel alive? Like, what do I truly enjoy? Like, what do I really think is fun? Really questioning these things, especially also this weekend with the Gemini energy coming back in strong, with Mercury entering Gemini, the sun and the sign of Gemini, heading towards Gemini season. Rediscovering ourselves on a heart-based level in terms of what just makes us feel alive and what makes life fun again. That's the direction that we are heading. But, you know, this square with the nodes could definitely have us at a point where sort of like the past and the future are really coming into some type of perspective today, and we are finding some things out that are helping us to move away from the past and towards the future. It's another one of these days, really, honestly, in the energy on Friday, that is working to break down some of the illusions that have kept us trapped in the past or by the past, or just attached to things, especially on an emotional level that we feel like we haven't been ready to let go of, even though maybe we know that we should. And we are coming to the point, I feel like, just in this energy, like I said, the past and the future kind of coming into some type of context where we know we have come to the end of something and we need to let it go and we need to move on. So endings and beginnings, again, all year you guys are going to hear me talking about, and I've been talking about since we got into this 2023 year, these cascading endings and beginnings that are going on. It's like things coming to the end, but before the dust even settles, there's already like this fresh bloom that is sprouted up out of nowhere. Venus in the square to the nodes, and also right now we have to remember Jupiter in the conjunction to the north node as well. This is no longer exact, but it is still present. Jupiter North Node currently ruled by Venus right now, aligning with the truth of our heart and hope for the future. Jupiter, hope, trust, faith, belief, the North Node, the future. This is the key. This is what we need to do to release ourselves from these past cycles at this point in time. Maintaining hope for the future, keeping a future focus, working and putting our energy into becoming and aligning with a more authentic version of who we feel that we are and who we want to become moving forward. This is our ticket right now, you guys. What do I truly want? Who do I truly want to become based on who I'm discovering that I truly am? We have the moon, as I said, transiting Pisces. Saturn is also right now in the early degrees of Pisces, you guys, and preparing to go retrograde next week. We're going to be dealing with a lot of Saturn energy as Saturn prepares and stations retrograde next week. So Saturn's definitely slowing down in the sky, and the moon will form the conjunction to Saturn and the energy on Friday, while simultaneously and slightly before we'll trine the nodes of the moon and sextile the nodes of the moon. So with the moon, though, in the conjunction to Saturn, while Venus is square the nodes, there's likely to be sort of a more serious tone to whatever is playing out, like today in this energy, and actually all weekend. Things may be, well, on one hand, there is kind of like a more intense, serious, focused, driven energy. On the other hand, which we'll talk about as we move through the weekend, especially as we get into Sunday, the spark is being reignited, and we're going to start feeling a lot better about things, a lot more inspired, a lot more like ready to go. But it could just be sort of more of a heavy, serious, like I need to be more pensive about things and just really kind of not be too out of control in the energy as is coming through on Friday. Serious tone to things, seriousness vibes, coming to terms emotionally with these changes that we need to make. The moon hitting the sextile and the trine, sextile to the north node, trine to the south node. This is an energy on an emotional level that is facilitating this transformation from the past into the future, this bridge from the past to the future, this change that we have going on right now. We also have Jupiter this weekend at 5 degrees of the sign of Taurus, and that Sabian symbol is a bridge being built across a high, narrow gorge. So Jupiter, the planet of expansion, blessings, truth, trust, in the sign of Taurus, conjunct the North Node, which is a feature of the energy this weekend, which is where we're going, which is about the future, is directly talking about this bridge. It may be over a bit of a, treacherous terrain, okay, but we are taking the high road, we're crossing the bridge, moving towards this future. We have to keep a future focus in the context or in the midst of, maybe some just more pessimistic emotions that could be coming through in the energy, or just with the moon and Saturn together, we can just feel sort of like isolated, or like we can't connect, or like we can't relate, or just like a bit more depressed, or it's just not the most upbeat vibe. So even if we're feeling a bit down on ourselves and the energy as this weekend starts, like I said, by the time we get to Sunday, there's going to be a reinvigoration. We're going to be feeling a lot more better and a lot more self-motivated and like ready to like go after our sort of dreams and like what we want to create and pursue. So, future focus, don't be too hard on yourself if things play out in the energy on Friday. But there is also, with Saturn about to go retrograde, like this need to be more mature maybe and be more responsible somehow in certain areas of our lives, and especially with the Venus themes this weekend also, and the sextile to the North Node in Taurus, in our relationships, in our finances, in regards to maybe like our projects, what we're working on, what we're growing, what we're developing, or even like love interests and stuff we're pursuing along those lines as well. Our commitments, again, this feeling of not being good enough, not being enough generally, not being seen, not being loved, not being embraced, not being understood somehow, with Venus also in the sign of Leo, which would sort of rule all of those things, and in the square to the North Node simultaneously. Issues with isolation, just feeling left out, maybe unrelatable, unlovable. This is not the reality though. This is not the truth, okay? And again, as we move into specifically the energy for Sunday, we're definitely going to be like, this vibe will have shifted, but also like this harsh inner critic could come up, like judging our own creations also, or like I said, like what we've grown, what we're developing, or the reality that we've built for ourselves generally, just maybe being like a little bit hard on ourselves in terms of the lives that we've created right now, and sort of just seeing maybe like the glass is a bit half empty, perhaps, as we're going through the energy on Friday. This is also though, and we're going to be getting more and more of this as Saturn prepares to station retrogrades, the breakdown in any type of lies that we've been telling ourselves maybe, or that we've been telling others, or that we've been telling the world. Breakdown and deception, breakdown and illusion. Harsh truths could really be coming out over this next couple of weeks, you know, kind of starting in this energy right now as well, making us question our reality, changing the trajectory of our lives, or, you know, what we are wanting, the shift in preferences that is going on and that has been going on, as we rediscover and reconnect with our inner child and like our true passions and our true desires, and like what it is that we are discovering is this authentic purpose rising within us, so that we can activate our destiny in alignment, right, with our transition to the age of Aquarius right now, which is the culmination, okay, of all of us over hundreds of years going through a process of self-actualization and aligning with our greater levels of self-mastery, and, you know, healing our wounds, the Chiron energy, the hero's journey. Like, this is all encapsulated in this. We talk about these themes all the time, but you know, this is just another energy that is coming through right now that is sort of pushing us in that direction, and it is asking us to mature a little bit, to be more responsible, to be more organized. This is a great day. I will tell you, the best way to use the energy on Friday is, you know, this is not the most social energy. We are moving towards some very, very social energy that we have coming up with Venus and Mars in the sign of Leo, and in Gemini season. This is literally like the party is here. Like, this is a very just outgoing, extroverted social energy that we are moving into. But, you know, to start this weekend, it's probably not so much that way, but it is a very, very great day for making plans, especially regarding the future. Making plans, making blueprints, like writing, creating anything sort of in relation to or connecting us to what we want to bring into fruition moving forward. Organizing, cleaning, focused work on these projects or these plans, or future oriented, whatever that we have going on. Creative energy moving through the weekend is very, very strong as well. Also, acting our faith, trusting that things are moving in the right direction for us, regardless maybe of how they're feeling at the moment, okay? And putting effort into making self-improvements in alignment with our higher self, in alignment with our spiritual truths. Saturn in the sign of Pisces right now, but Jupiter is also in a sextile with Saturn right now, and this is going to be a growing, building energy over this next couple of weeks. And the presence of Jupiter in the sextile to Saturn right now, as Saturn prepares to station retrograde, and while we have this moon contact coming through today, this is sort of letting us know also that over this next couple weeks, our demonstration, okay, of what we've learned through executing, okay, through putting the wisdom that we've gained through whatever experiences we've gone through into practice, into practical action in our daily lives and in whatever scenarios we're facing and stuff like that. This is the foundation of what is required for some type of solid, successful structure or new beginning, right, to be built in some area of our lives in one way or another. Wherever we have Pisces in our chart right now and Saturn is there, this is calling in a greater level of attention to the framework through which we are dealing with and navigating this area of our lives. And with Jupiter there forming this sextile and Saturn about to go retrograde, there are some adjustments that need to be made, but if we can make these changes in alignment with a sense of wisdom that we've gained through experience experience, the way that this area of our lives is going to perform for us moving forward is going to be very solid and very successful, like going far into the future. Saturn is enduring. Saturn is long lasting. This is like laying new foundations that have the opportunity to become like legacies if done right. But how we do that done right is in this moment when we have this huge emphasis on the past and the future sort of coming to a head, and, you know, this bridge and what are we going to do, you know, this need to grow with Jupiter next to the North Node. It's like the blessings come through, like taking all of the experiences of our life so far, like juicing the wisdom out of them and applying it so that we are making better choices, better decisions in the context of repeating past patterns that we may be finding again ourselves coming up against now. We are making informed, wise, conscious decisions and choices as opposed to sort of, you know, making emotionally charged choices based on unhealed trauma and triggers arising within us in, you know, maybe the way that we had allowed our life to conduct itself in the past when we were less conscious creators and therefore less responsible for the outcome of our own reality. Okay, so this is this opportunity for us to show universe that we are ready to play a more significant role in the actual like creation of our experiences. Are we going to fall back into past patterns based on emotion and ego-based reactions to things? Or are we going to implement the wisdom that we've gained from the past and, you know, make choices from a very conscious level, do things in a very conscious way to promote our ability to go down the path that universe wants us to go down in alignment with our highest form of expansion, like our true potential and this destiny activating energy, the self-actualization, self-actualizing energy that is the overall mission right now, and not just right now, over this next couple of 100 years, but for all of those who are, you know, able to grab that frequency and ride it up right now, it is coming through. And this is, you know, it's one lantern, one light that comes on, one after another and after another. And each one of us that goes through that process on our own then becomes, you know, an inspiration and an example for countless others. And then it ripples out like that. And that is how we make the translation into the age of Aquarius happen over time, you guys. As one by one, we respond to these frequency changes and transform the way that we are interacting with our personal paradigms and our realities. That's what we're talking about on this channel. So expansive, lasting, positive growth, laying new foundations for the future based on who we are becoming and what we are letting go of now. Wisdom gained, maturity, responsibility themes in the energy on Friday. Interesting, we have the position of the sun on Friday at 19 degrees of Gemini. A large archaic volume reveals a traditional wisdom. I just was talking about, you know, the wisdom from the past. How are we applying it to the future in a way that is productive to our growth and releasing us from the grips of the past at this point in time? The Earth, 19 Sag, pelicans, menaced by the behavior of men, seek safer areas for bringing up their young. Again, learning through experience, making different choices in order to protect what we're trying to cultivate and grow now. And we also have Mercury, 28 degrees of Taurus on Friday, a woman pursued by mature romance. So again, like, what is it that we really want based on who we're discovering we really are and our ability to finally like align with and embrace that. So figuring out how to do life better this weekend on Friday. Okay, you guys, moving into Saturday, June 10th, tons of creative energy and also like manifestation potential actually in the energy coming through on Saturday. The moon is still in the sign of Pisces, but it's sort of wedged in between Neptune and Saturn all day. Neptune and Saturn and Pisces, this is that ability to really like align our mind's eye in with what we want or what we desire in a way where it can actually be tangibly translated into some type of physical manifestation. Saturn grounding and manifesting like dreams and visions into reality in the sign of Pisces, with Neptune there, that like spiritual infusion. Lots of divine inspiration coming through in the energy on Saturday. Great visualization and imagination with practical potential energy, being able to visualize in a way that can tangibly manifest. So, you know, this is, if any type of, this is a day on Saturday that makes me think of just like artist energy, especially also with Venus and Mars, both in the sign of Leo, this very creative energy as well, the solar plexus energy, and the sun in the sign of Gemini, this mentalized idea-based energy, and then all of this Taurus energy as well, which is another very like artistic, creative, productive energy, the sign of the builder, and the moon transiting between Saturn and Neptune. Artist vibes, artistic vibes, divine inspiration, creative expression, channeled from the mental, emotional, and spiritual planes into a physical reality. Low physical energy, this is probably not going to be the day on Saturday where you really feel like getting up and, you know, running a marathon or something like that. The gym workout might be a little extra grueling in the energy on Saturday, but if you have a creative project to work on, if you're a creative type of person, if you have passions, if there's something that you're trying to get into, like even inventing and stuff like that, like this is a very divinely inspired, highly creative energy. Whatever we are building, working on, creating should be a focus today, even if we don't intend it to be. There is also a moon sun square in mutable signs, moon in Pisces, sun in Gemini, that is happening in the energy on Saturday as well. This can also be like an inherently creative energy, although it's likely to come through a form of conflict. There could be some conflict or some type of an internalized tension that we are dealing with on Saturday as well. But overall, just this great day to create, to harmonize, to get in the flow of inspiration or divine connection also. Could also be just like a very spiritually connected day and connected energy that we have going on Saturday. So if you can catch and ride that creative flow, that, you know, divine inspiration that is coming through, it could have some very good tangible outcomes for us. Moving into next week, when we have this also big emphasis on the Saturn energy that will be coming through. So let's move on. Let's talk about Sunday, June 11th now. Things having to do with opposites, things having to do with oppositions, polarities, old and new, endings and beginnings, coming and going, where we've been and where we're going now, who we've been, who we're becoming now, the past and the future. Again, very much wrapped up in the vibes for Sunday, truth versus illusion, differing perspectives as well, seeing things through a new lens perhaps, perspective shifts, persistent, enduring effort to fight for change and fight for what's right and what we know is right, like truly in our heart, the future that will come to pass despite us fighting for or against it as well. It could be sort of like an overlying or underlying theme here. And also things are just changing generally. We are seeing the truth. These are the themes coming through on Sunday. All the Sabian symbols are kind of pointing in that direction. We've got the sun at 21 degrees of Gemini on Sunday, a tumultuous labor demonstration. We have the earth at 21 degrees of Sag on Sunday, a child and a dog with borrowed eyeglasses, shifting perspective on something, seeing things from a different angle, and also really putting some enduring like effort, some very like adamant effort into making something happen or to changing things in one way or another that we feel like is in a better, more fair, more harmonious and more like righteous balance, okay? Mercury moving to 1 degree of the sign of Gemini. A glass bottom boat reveals undersea wonders and panoramas, seeing things, seeing the truth about things, seeing things clearly, perhaps things that are normally hidden to us or that are under the surface of where we're usually looking. Remember, we've got Mercury entering Gemini on Sunday. We've also got Pluto retrograding back to 29 degrees of Capricorn on Sunday. That Sabian symbol is a woman reading tea leaves. As I said, the future that is going to come to pass, whether we are fighting for or against it at this point in time. And also Venus, 6 degrees of the sign of Leo, an old-fashioned woman in a flapper. The old and the new, the past and the future, the traditional and conservative, and sort of like the progressive and the forward-leaning coming into contact, coming up against each other, and the position of Mars as well. 13 degrees of the sign of Leo, an old sea captain rocking on the porch of his cottage, reflecting on the past and the future, where we've been, where we're going, all the experiences that we've had and the wisdom that we've gained and what we're going to do with that to enrich our lives moving forward. Coming through on a symbolic level today, and also with the energetic shift that is playing out on Sunday, really being reinforced by the vibrations coming through as well. Mercury entering the sign of Gemini, shifting the mental vibration significantly, opening us up ideas, options, alternatives, solutions, opportunities, new information, a glass bottom boat where feels undersea wonders, helping us to see a deeper and more clear, or gain a deeper and more clear perspective or perception of something that is helping us in this transformational process that is also very, very relevant and ongoing in the energy this weekend. Pluto retrograde, re-entering Capricorn, giving us the power to truly transform some of our previous limitations, okay? And our psychological frameworks that kept us attached to the past. This Capricorn, Pluto, last touchdown, last transit, it takes over 200 years for Pluto to transit all of the 12 signs of the zodiac. So when Pluto finally goes direct and leaves the sign of Capricorn, enters Aquarius, this is done. Like, this is done. This process will be wrapped up. And this energy is with Pluto backing into Capricorn, bringing the final wrecking ball to systems of power and control internally and externally from the past that have been not following the rules, essentially, that have been in any way false or in any way illusionary or over idealized or just generally like not real, not true, not honest, with Saturn in the sign of Pisces ruling Capricorn, while Pluto for the final time backs back into the sign of Capricorn, not working in service to a higher power, not in alignment with like integrity and righteousness, and also with Jupiter in the North Node right now, not in alignment with the higher truth and the true potential, the authentic truth that is necessary for true organic growth and expansion. This is the wrecking ball. This is the dissolving. This is burning it all down. This is the final destruction of the structures and the frameworks and the foundations of the past that were not in alignment with our ability to do this self-actualization thing and to like activate our destiny and to help in the process of this age of Aquarius coming into fruition at this point in time. So with Pluto now retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, the more we attempt, or the more that the old ways or the old power structures attempt to control and to maintain their systems of power and control, this is ultimately becoming sort of the final nail in the coffin to this past mechanism, this past hierarchy, or this past just foundation, structure, framework, way of operating and being, the authoritarian systems of power and control in the past, whether it maybe was the rules that we held ourselves to that were detrimental to our ability to really blossom and bloom in some way, or just in terms of the greater overall hierarchical societal structures of power and control, breaking down in a way that liberates the human spirit to come into a greater form of self-empowerment as well. Because remember, you know, when Pluto ends this transit, final transit of Capricorn, moves back into Aquarius, this is really igniting this 20-year process of self-empowerment of the collective, of humanity, and really getting our ball rolling along the ripple effect, the snowball effect, moving us into the age of Aquarius on this energetic frequency-based level. So the ways that we've been limited, or that we were limited or controlled, or that we limited or controlled ourselves in the past, you know, by ourselves or by others, to feed this inorganic or this inverted or this unjust or this unrighteous agenda, or these timelines that were detached from true universal expansion, evolution, and growth. This is what is done with this energy. And this is starting now. It should be very interesting to see how this plays out over the rest of the summer, the impact that it sort of has on the 3D matrix, on the 3D reality, especially also with Saturn, like I said, about to go retrograde in the sign of Pisces as well. This could be a lot of breakdowns. There's gonna be a lot of breakdowns and illusions, a lot of coming to find that what we thought was true for very long periods of time, especially in regard to like authority and just systems of government and management and economies and stuff like that, financial institutions, we're going to come to discover that there was a lot of smoke and mirrors going on. A lot of what we thought was reality was actually not truly reality, but more of a fabricated narrative overlay meant to maintain a perception that was actually diminishing our ability to come into our own sense of internal self-empowerment. So it'll be interesting to see microcosm, macrocosm, how this plays out moving throughout the course of the summer as we are universally divinely guided in pursuit of authentic growth right now, with Jupiter and Uranus both in the sign of Taurus moving into conjunction with one another. Also, you know, Sunday with Mercury moving into Gemini, as this is happening, as Pluto is retrograding back into the sign of Capricorn, the woman reading tea leaves, like, prophecies of the past sort of coming to pass in this energy, and the glass bottom boat, Mercury the mind, messages, information, Pluto back into Capricorn. This sort of makes me think, you know, with simultaneously to Mercury moving into Gemini, lots of chatter, lots of info, lots of headlines kind of like narrating or accompanying the breakdown process that could be happening right now as well. Like a lot of communication and verbalization, information sharing going on in regards to whatever this Pluto Capricorn retrograde energy is bringing us. And we've also got a moon coming. First, we're starting the day with the moon in the conjunction to Neptune on Sunday, but then the moon will leave Pisces, enter Aries, form a trine to Venus in Leo. So this is what I was talking about. This is going to be this uplifting energy, this energy that is helping us to feel more alive, more positive, more re-inspired, and sort of just like more ready to go, just kind of reignited and reactivated maybe in one way or another, coming through in the energy on Sunday after what may have been kind of a bit of a more dreary Friday to start our weekend. So Sunday, Mercury and Gemini, super social vibes coming through, and this is carrying us, like this is going to be for the next couple of weeks, lighting the spark within us to create, to play, to relate, to go after something, but especially, you know, with the moon forming the trine to Venus and Gemini from Aries, while we have Mercury entering the sign of Gemini on Sunday. This is just really great social positive energy, great for parties, occasions, sports, games, any type of like gathering, you know what I mean, shows and performances as well, being out and about, like at the beach, at the pool, in the sun with Venus. And this is going to be a very sunny, like people like spending a lot of time outside, wanting to be outside a lot this summer with both Venus and Mars in the sign of Leo. Get outside this weekend also and do something physical, be active. Physical energy is running much higher. Like I said, you might be feeling just much more reinvigorated sort of as we get through the energy on Sunday. And this is another very creative, inspired day. Let your creative juices flow, let your passions flow. If that is, you know, if you're into that type of thing, do something to connect to your inner child as well. This is very supported in the energy on Sunday, and to connect to others. But it's just a great day to kind of like have some fun, make something beautiful or that makes you feel good, do something that makes you feel good, you know, play music, listen to music, just give thanks, embrace, enjoy life, and try to just like nurture and cultivate a sense of gratitude as well. That's really going to support whatever we have going on in this energy as it's coming through on Sunday and moving into next week. Next week, like I said, Saturn does station, so there's going to be some very significant kind of Saturn vibes going on next week. And this is this more serious, responsible energy needing to kind of like be on top of things. So, you know, Sunday really is giving us an opportunity to really enjoy what we have going on and kind of just have like a really nice day. So take advantage of that. Riding the high vibes into the energy of next week should have sort of like a good effect, a positive effect on our psyches. So that's what I have to say for the energy this weekend, you guys. Very transformative weekend. These are sort of crucial times that we're in right now. Lots of big changes going on. Lots of sort of redefining ourselves and re-identifying ourselves, rediscovering things about ourselves and motivations. Again, like I said, this is a very inner child promoting energy that we have going on, and it's definitely just a social energy if you can, you know, spend some time connecting to others, because there could be some very positive exchanges in terms of some eye-opening or some just sudden clarity as well coming through from having random conversations with other people and friends and stuff and hanging out and connecting in this energy. So that's what we're gonna say about the weekend. Let's grab a synchronicity card now. What is it that can benefit us as we're going throughout the course of this weekend? What should we keep in mind? What do we need to know? There we go. God's the boss, you guys, and we already know that. It says, who then is that faithful and wise steward? Luke 12:42. You must do your job joyously and faithfully in the knowledge that God is your boss. Your subconscious will then respond and promote you and remove obstacles to your success. Have a constructive vision. Be faithful to your vision. Show respect for authority, and you will be prospered along all lines. Yeah, this is definitely, like, I feel like a very good way to navigate the energy this weekend, especially as we're, you know, dealing with these more maybe heavy Saturn vibes that are coming through on Friday and to start our weekend. But going with the flow of things, you guys, surrendering the burden and trusting the process, that things are working for us in our interest right now. But we do have a greater responsibility right now also to be doing what we know is right, to be making our choices guided from a place of wisdom based in experience, to be not choosing to get back on the merry-go-round or to, you know, do the Groundhog's Day thing, or to participate in, you know, making the same choice in the same situation that's presenting itself to us again. Like, this is where we are getting off of the ride and we are taking back conscious control of our outcomes by shifting our perspective in a way that gives us the sense of self-empowerment, right? To be able to move in the direction that is ultimately promoting our growth, our ability to develop our potential and to align with our higher truths and our true purpose, right? Activate destiny. That's what all this energy is pushing towards right now. So we can help universe in that process by getting off the wheel, right? And stepping into our ability to, like, consciously navigate from a higher perspective. So that's what we're doing, you guys. God's the boss. I'm gonna stop talking now. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think that they would be into this type of astrology content as well. Leave me comments. I am so grateful for all of you. I appreciate you. I value you so much. Thank you for everything that you have to say. As always, if you are having experiences that are in alignment with what I've been talking about, let me know in the comment section. Very valuable to me. I love you guys. Thank you. And I have a Facebook page, Facebook group, Instagram, other social medias in my description box below. If that is the type of thing that tickles your fancy. And come back with me next week, you guys. We've actually got a pretty chill week starting out the week, but as we move into the weekend, these Saturn vibes pick up, and we've got this Saturn retrograde next week to talk about. So more astrology. I'll be here. You should be here too. You definitely don't want to miss it. And I will see you then. Have a beautiful weekend. And until next time, bye guys.